Welcome to the podcast. Come here every day. Welcome to the podcast. Here we are staying the podcast. Welcome to the podcast. Scream, scream. How about that, Rin?
That was pretty good.
That's an amazing opening, right?
Yeah, it caught me off guard.
Yeah, I think I might be a better Axl Rose than I am a rapper. I mean, very few people know.
You still try it, you know?
Yeah.
You can always change careers.
I can always change careers. Maybe in post, you can go in there and make me sound like really good, like auto-tune me or something.
Oh, yeah, add some like background music
like
too, maybe?
The Masked Singer, something like that. Well, anyways, welcome in everybody to Audionots. We're happy to have every one of you audio nuts hanging out with us today. We're excited to announce that we're on Apple finally. So tell your friends, your family, your lovers, your yoga instructors, your swim coach, maybe the guy at Taco Bell. Let them all know that they can catch us on Apple, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, and Breaker. Let them know that they're in for an hour of pure entertainment, excitement. I mean, it's a good time all around, don't you think?
Yeah. All our tens of fans.
All tens of our fans.
Told us so.
And don't forget, you can always find us on the social medias at Audionots or at Audionots Podcast, depending where you go. I thought I'd get started today by asking how the heck your Thanksgiving was. How was your turkey day?
It was good. We got a little lazy this year, so instead of like roasting a whole turkey,
Yeah.
My sister was like, "Can you just cut it up so we could, cook it like that?"
Oh, so you cooked it in chunks?
Yeah, so I got the turkey, cleaned it, cut in chunks, and then cooked it like that. And then she like marinated and
How'd it turn out?
good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever. Well, I'm sure I've had like outside of Thanksgiving. It seems like Thanksgiving's the only time where you're making an entire turkey, right?
Right.
Because I'm pretty sure sometimes my wife will buy like a turkey breast.
Or like ground turkey,
Oh, for sure, ground turkey, or like we talked about last time, just like sandwich type lunch meat turkey.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. What else? Did you have any good sides? I know you talked about egg rolls and stuff like that. You do that this year?
Oh yeah, we did. We got egg rolls. My sister made some like Thai pepper dips.
Oh,
that
wow.
was bomb with like
Are Thai peppers spicy?
Yeah, spicy, and she added some like rice powder to it too. It was good. I was dipping my my turkey in that.
Is that what it was for? To dip the turkey in?
Yeah, because the turkey breast is a little dry, so you need a little like sauce or gravy or whatever.
Nice.
So you got your choices of sauce, gravy, Thai pepper sauce. You can't go wrong.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
How was yours?
Good. Yeah, we were, as you know, we were on vacation. So we went to Disneyland for about 4 days.
Right.
And then after that, we went up to San Diego and hung out with some of my daughter's boyfriend's parents. And they made us amazing Thanksgiving. So we had the standard stuff. But his mom is Filipino. And so they made us a bunch of really delicious Philippine food. And it was bomb diggity.
So you got kind of like my Thanksgiving, a little American tradition Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And a little fusion of Asian to it.
Totally. Yeah. It was like this intermix.
Yeah.
And we had this one thing called lumpia, which you probably know is just like it's like a little egg roll almost.
Yeah.
So good. My son probably ate his weight in that stuff. So it was incredible.
My favorite Filipino food is this bread called senorita bread.
Senorita bread?
Yeah. I got one time in California, like Sacramento area.
Yeah.
And it's like a little butter bread or whatever, and it thing just melts in your mouth.
Is it like, and I don't think this is saying it the wrong way, Indian bread? Like sometimes we go up to the local casino and they literally call it Indian bread. And it's like, it's really almost dessert style bread. It's like really sweet and like you said, buttery.
Yeah. Maybe. I haven't tried Indian bread.
I'm going to have to do like a Google search maybe after the podcast and see if Indian bread and senorita bread are one and the same.
Yeah, because I'll be down in the Sacramento area again. Christmas break.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go get me some senorita bread.
Load up?
Yeah.
You have to bring some back.
It'll be good. You gotta get it fresh.
Oh, it'll dry out on you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, so our Thanksgiving was pretty fun. We also, like I said, went on vacation to Disneyland. And I think what we were most excited about when we went was seeing Star Wars Land.
You mean you or the rest of the family or just you?
No, everybody.
Everybody was?
Yeah, what was nice about it is, it was a big group of us. There was 7 of us total. And we range from the nerdy, me, my son, to the less nerdy, everybody else. And I think that Star Wars Land is kind of all-encompassing. Everybody was excited for it.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool because the moment you walk into that area, you feel like you're in Star Wars.
Yeah, because when I went, they didn't have it yet, and all they had was like a little like a shop area in a way.
Oh, store, yeah.
Yeah, a store. You just go in there, and they were all in there. So
Yeah.
it's been expanded.
Right, and they still, what was interesting is even though they added Star Wars Land, they still have that area where you can still meet and greet characters.
Okay.
And completely different. So that's Tomorrowland. So you can still meet and greet, Boba Fett and Chewbacca or Darth Vader, whoever it is, in the meet and greet area. And then when you go into Star Wars Land, which is almost like its own park, they'll have just random characters walking around. We saw Chewbacca and Rey, and they actually will do full-on skits. So they were running around, and there's full-size spaceships. There's X-Wings and the Millennium Falcon are all just there, and they'll run around acting like they're like doing something. I don't know. I think they were like rescuing some sort of power crystals or something. I don't know what they were doing.
Did you get a Wookiee hug?
I didn't get a Wookiee hug. What was funny is Chewbacca didn't have any of our nonsense. He was always kind of cruising, and every time I try to stop him to get a photo, his handler would be like, no pictures right now. He's got to go back inside. So I'm guessing the guy that plays Chewbacca can't be in that suit for too long.
Did you Chewbacca yell at him?
I did. I went, "Rrrr," even though it's not very good. It's more, you're laughing at me. Let me try again. "Rrrr." Nope, it's just as bad. Yeah, I made that noise for sure at him, and that's probably why he ran away so quickly. But I did jump in front of him as he was trying to walk past me, and I took a selfie with him walking past me. He did look right at the camera, so that was kind of cool.
That counts.
Yeah.
It's kind of like seeing him in the wild.
Yeah, it was like a Bigfoot sighting.
Yeah.
But so the Millennium Falcon ride is something. It's I would say it's almost like amusement park ride meets video game.
Okay.
And so when you go in, they have you're basically climbing into the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon, and there's 6 people ride the ride together, and you have 2 pilots.
Wait, 6 people?
6 people.
So who's the odd man out? You said you had 7, right?
Right. So luckily, the first time we went, a few of the people weren't with us because they were, I don't know, doing a different ride.
Right.
And we had to ride with 2 randos, and the 2 randos, because there was at that point there was only 4 of us. And the 2 randos were they were terrible at flying. They ended up being the pilots, and they crashed the Millennium Falcon like right away.
Wait, you control it?
Yes.
Okay.
And so, like I said, it's like a video game. So you've got the 2 pilots. The
you get to choose who becomes a pilot?
No, they hand you like these tickets, and you have to. They tell you to hang on to it. You're not supposed to change. And so they handed the 2 people in front of us, the randos that we didn't know, got the pilot tickets.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. I was a gunner. My daughter was a gunner, and then my wife and maybe my son were the engineers.
Okay.
And so basically the way the ride works is you climb in the cockpit, and they've run the screen over the whole curvature of the Millennium Falcon's kind of window cockpit.
Yeah.
And the pilots what you do is every time a button lights up, that's the button you're supposed to push. So it's really about timing and control. And so they would pop up and say, okay, you're going to go try to rescue these like power crystal things, which apparently they're really into in Star Wars Land. And so you're flying after these power crystals and trying to like blow up this like almost like space train. And you kind of like knock the crap out of the space train, and you're able to grab your power crystals. And I think the more you get, the longer you get to go.
Right.
But of course, one of our pilots didn't understand what was going on, and she kept like flying us the wrong direction and crashing into things. And so then the gunners, which is one I was, we have like one button. That's it. And you sit and you got to bang on the one button as fast as you can to shoot everything. It's just basically like a button smasher.
Right.
And then the engineers are in the back, and they're pushing all sorts of buttons because every button they're pushing is supposedly fixing every time the pilots crash into something.
Oh, so your pilot must have sucked.
Right, because they're pushing buttons as fast as they could, trying to like fix all the crashes. But we kind of puttered out like right away.
Yeah.
Well, after it was over, my wife quickly realized that even though I thought it was really good as far as one of those kind of, what do you call those? They're not really virtual reality. It's like these rides where all you're doing is looking at like a TV screen.
It's almost like a 3D ride, right?
Yeah.
in a way.
Kind of like everything they have at Universal
But
Studios.
then you're moving along with the graphics, or what do you call
Right, because you're in the cockpit's moving back and forth and swaying, but you're watching it and it looks so legit. I'm telling you, it feels like you're flying into space. They make you buckle in and everything because the thing's jamming around.
You're saying the ride depends on how good of a pilot you have?
Yes. So you get to ride the ride no matter what.
Yeah.
But if you have a bad pilot, you're gonna crash. Probably if you had a bad gunner, couldn't shoot the cell things loose. You're gonna like not finish in time. And so if you have a good pilot, you get the ride last longer. And so my wife realized right away that the virtual reality part of it, the TV screen, made her feel sick.
Yeah, some people can't handle it.
Yeah. So we came back, and now we're down one. So now we have 6, but we have all 6 spots. So we get in line, we get the tickets for our second turn at this ride. And
Was the wait long?
Well, yeah, during the day, throughout the day, it was about an hour and a half.
So the first time you guys waited an hour and a half?
No. We went at nighttime both times because you can look on the Disneyland app and see the wait times of any of the rides. So you don't have to go get in line with a big long wait time.
Oh, yeah.
And normally we fast pass the really good rides, but because the Millennium Falcon is still so new, you can't fast pass it yet.
Okay.
And so we would go at night because it seems like what happens is after about 7 or 8 o'clock, a lot of the little kids are going to bed, so all the lines get shorter. Some of them are still long, but they're definitely shorter than earlier. And the Millennium Falcon ride got down to where it was only about 45 minutes. And so we only ever waited 45 minutes, but it's still a long time.
Yeah.
But it's a cool line. So it's one of these lines that's kind of fun. So while you're waiting in line, they've got you're walking around this giant Millennium Falcon, and they got like voices talking about how they're repairing it. Things are like smoking and doing stuff. And so the whole gimmick is that they're kind of fixing up the Millennium Falcon that they've borrowed from Han Solo and Chewbacca for us to fly to go get these power crystals.
Okay.
And so we knew how it worked the second time around, right? So we played the system a little bit because we had my daughter's boyfriend who's a good video gamer. We had my son who's a good video gamer.
Yeah.
And we quickly decided they're going to be the pilots. So no matter who gets the ticket, we're going to pass them the pilot ticket.
Yeah.
I was going to be the gunner because I'm pretty...
Button smasher.
Yeah, I can smash a button all day, like the best. I'm a pro level button smasher. And then a couple of the others decided to be the engineers because it's mostly just about being quick and having good hand-eye coordination.
Right. So it's kind of like you see a light, you press it.
Yeah,
in a way.
Totally. It's like not Speak and Spill. Simon Says.
Oh, okay.
It's like Simon Says Millennium Falcon Edition.
Okay.
And so we got on there and we went so much better this time because we had kids that could drive the ship. We were doing something that lasted way longer. We collected, I think, 3 power cells. At the end of our first ride with the randos, the video game guy or the screen character came on, told us how much we sucked, and then we walked out. The person that kind of was dressed like a Starfleet person told us that we sucked. We kind of ended our ride that way. This time they told us we did good. We didn't do great, but we did good. So I'm imagining that you could probably get, like any game, get better at it.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun though. I highly recommend going, but I did find out because we were there just prior to Thanksgiving that they're getting ready to open a second ride called Rise of the Resistance, which is originally I thought it was going to be a roller coaster, but I guess it's more like one of those rides where you sit and almost like Indiana Jones, where it's a moving ride but not necessarily a roller coaster, where you move through different areas and things happen.
Yeah.
And that one looks really cool. We walked past it and they were basically telling us that it's done and they were just doing their final tests, and we found out right after we left that it opens in February.
Okay, not too long. Yeah.
So I told my family, like, let's go back. But it's so expensive. So we're not going to go back probably for another 3 or 4 years. Maybe once Marvel Land opens, because they ripped out Bug's Life and they're starting to build a whole big Marvel area too.
So the Star Wars, is that in Disneyland or is that
Disneyland?
Okay.
Yeah. So Star Wars itself is in Disneyland. It's I don't know last time you've been to Disneyland, but you remember the Frontier area where like the that train roller coaster is? I forget, something mountain. I remember.
Space Mountain?
Not Space Mountain. Space Mountain's in Tomorrowland. But there's like this train roller coaster and some of the other Frontier-y type stuff. You walk literally out of Frontierland. It's kind of neat how they did it. So Frontierland is all set up to look kind of Western, like an old Western. And you walk through this like cave that they've made into Star Wars land. And the cave, as you're started into it, about halfway, it looks very Western. It's got these old like Western type lights. But about halfway through the cave, it turns into these really cool Star Wars looking lights. And all of a sudden, boom, you're into Star Wars land.
So it's a good segue to it?
Oh, it's amazing. It's so well thought out. The whole thing is like so epic. When you walk in, one of the things that they did that's really neat, because the entire park is designed to look and feel like you're in Star Wars. But they like set up speakers so it sounds like spaceships are flying from overhead, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And they rumble the ground. And like I said, there was characters. But one of the things we saw right when we came in was this little cantina area that was selling blue and green milk.
Did you get some?
I was so excited to try it. Yeah, so excited. So I didn't want the green milk because I don't know. Is green milk canon? I've never seen green milk, but maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I've only seen blue because Luke drank the blue milk.
Right. They had the blue milk in the OG Star Wars trilogy, right? And then we just recently saw it again in the new trilogy where he was like milking that 8-nippled llama thing for it. And so we know blue milk's part of it. So I was excited to try blue milk. And what I learned is blue milk isn't really like cow's milk at all. So if you have a dairy allergy, you can still have it, which is good, right? Because a lot of people these days get like you.
Yeah, I'm lactose.
Yeah,
so I could drink it?
You could totally have it.
Wait, so is it called blue milk?
Yes.
But there's no milk in it?
No, because there is milk. It's just not cow's milk. It's coconut milk and rice milk. So they actually show the ingredients on there because they know people are going to be worried about it.
Yeah.
So as far as I could tell, it was coconut milk, rice milk mixed with some sort of flavoring. It looks blue. It looks like when they give it to you, it's almost like a blue milkshake.
Is it kind of thick?
Yes. Yeah, It's thick. And so it's somewhere in between, like not a slushy, but it's more creamy like a milkshake.
Yeah.
And it tastes to me, the closest thing I could kind of compare it to is it tasted to me like Fruit Loops.
Like you crush Fruit Loops into
like the
a
flavor.
milkshake?
Have you ever eaten Fruit Loops and then you got that kind of like fruity flavored milk left over?
Yeah. You just drink it?
Yeah, it tastes like that.
Okay.
So it was pretty good. It tasted like that with like a hint of coconut. So it almost felt very beachy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't like if no one told you it was blue milk and you were just like on the beach, like lounging and someone threw a shot of vodka in it, it would be like your typical Hawaiian drink.
Yeah.
So the blue milk I thought was delicious. My son thought it was delicious. The girls in our family all thought it was disgusting. Yeah, they hated it.
Why? Because of the color or what?
No, they tried it and they just didn't like it. It wasn't for them, I guess.
Wow.
Maybe they weren't. I don't think any of us really knew what to expect.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, this is gross. So the blue milk was kind of a 50-50 split between the guys and the gals.
So when you bought it, did you buy everybody like a cup or?
Well, because we were nervous that it was going to taste like, horse manure. We only bought one because it's not cheap. It's a little tiny cup. It's like an 8-ounce cup and it's like $6.95 or $7.95 or something. Because like everything in Disneyland's a ripoff.
Yeah, so you bought one so you guys could all try it.
Right, so we could try it. So we kind of each took a sip, passed it around, probably gave her, everybody the flu. And like I said, in the end, my son and I, Boy Danger and I, were the only ones that really were super into the blue milk. So much so that because we visited Star Wars Land twice or 3 times, I think, actually, through our trip.
Yeah.
We ended up getting it again. So we ended up having 2 cups of blue milk. It was pretty great. The other thing that was really cool about the Star Wars Land was they have a bunch of stores. So they have your typical gift shops, things like that. But they have some stores that are made specifically for building things. And they had one that was for building your own droid. And it was really kind of cool. So you'd roll in there and they'd have like this overhead like conveyor belt. And all these droid parts are coming. It is really neat the way it's set up. We're coming out of the wall. You can see pieces of like CP3O, R2D2, BB-8, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you pay $100. It's not cheap. Nothing is. And you get in line and they put you in front of the conveyor belt. And basically, as the parts come out, you grab the parts you want and start building your robot. And you had to collect so many things. So they kind of teach you along the way that you got to get a body, a head, I think like a wheelbase, and then you got to pick a personality, which is kind of like its vocal things that it makes, like its beep, boops, and bops, and that sort of thing. We gave our son a choice if he wanted to make a robot, a droid, or if he wanted to make a lightsaber. And I'll give you 2 guesses, of what he chose.
How much was the lightsaber?
So, unfortunately, the lightsaber is double the cost of the droid. But, you only live once. So, we went over to the lightsaber store. And it's really cool. What was cool about the lightsaber store is it's decorated really neat. And up in the corner, they had kind of like a balcony area they couldn't actually walk up to, but it was decorated like Star Wars. There was an IG-11 up there. I don't know if it was the same one we saw the Mandalorian shoot in the head, but he was like dead against the wall and they had like bolt holes around, like he'd been lasered.
Okay.
Which I thought was a really, really cool thing. And they had this big animatronic alien, one I haven't seen before, some sort of Star Wars character. Maybe it's canon and something that's a little bit deeper than I've dove. But he was like the store thing, and he was moving around, doing stuff in the background, and he was kind of cool too. And then they had this giant glass counter where all the lightsaber handles are. And so you walk up and they've got like all the legendary ones, Luke Skywalker, like Anakin, Darth Vader. And so you choose which kind of handle you want. And the handles themselves are like $150, just the handle. And
by itself?
By itself, just the handle.
Dang.
And the handles though are pretty amazing, right?
So you could just buy the handle by itself?
You can, yeah.
Oh.
And I'm gonna give everybody a hot tip here in a minute on maybe how they want to do it. So the handles are $150. They range from like $120 to $150 depending on which one you choose. Because there's like, I don't know, maybe 6 choices. And then after you buy the handle, you have to choose a saber. Now, here's the thing we learned that we didn't know when we were doing it, because my son really wanted the purple lightsaber.
Mace Windu's?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure that he cares about Mace Windu, or maybe he's just a big Sam Jackson fan.
Oh, yeah.
But he really likes the purple lightsaber. We picked the Luke Skywalker handle.
Yeah.
But they would not allow us to pick the purple lightsaber, because they're like, well, that one's not canon. It doesn't go with this handle. So I'm not sure if the different sabers fit differently in the handles, but I kind of feel like all the sabers probably fit in any of the handles, but they refuse to sell us Luke Skywalker's handle with Mace Windu's saber.
What? And you didn't like throw a fit about that?
No, I mean, there were so many people in there. I mean, the place was packed. I mean, we were like shoulder to shoulder with a million other dorks trying to, blow their, entire wages on a lightsaber. And so we ended up just buying the Luke lightsaber, which was another $50, which pushes you up to the $200.
So you basically just made Luke Skywalker's lightsaber.
Yeah, but it's really cool. I mean, they get this whole process where they add in the sounds and they like do this. It's like it's almost like you're becoming a Jedi more than just buying a lightsaber. You're paying for the experience and everything kind of involved in it, and it's really pretty neat. So in the end, it's a cool thing. The handle itself is like aluminum and everything. It's like real metal. And it comes apart. You can take it. It actually comes. Here's another interesting fact. It comes with 2 handles. So the $150 handle isn't just one handle. You actually get 2, and I'll tell you why. The second handle, the first handle is the one you can put your saber in.
Yeah.
The second handle is just meant to be displayed, so you can put it up on a display case. You can't plug anything into it. It's actually built a little bit differently.
Okay.
And so we ended up with 2 handles for the $150. One is just strictly to hang on like your mantle or something.
Well, you could wear it for cosplay, right? Just like on your belt or something.
Well, that's exactly what Kid Danger did. So we got back to the hotel room. That's funny that you said it. You guys think so alike. We got back to the hotel room, and he has these AirPod things, and they got like a little rubber case for it. It has a little clip on it.
Yeah.
And so he popped the clip off his AirPod case and snapped it onto his show handle and started wearing it around on his belt loop, just exactly like you said.
That's what I would have done too.
Great minds think alike. So yeah, it was pretty neat. So in the end, we got 2 handles and a saber and an experience for $200.
I thought that when they advertised it, it was like you custom make your own lightsaber, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised they wouldn't let you do that.
You can if we would have been willing to choose a different handle. But he was dead set on the Luke Skywalker handle. Okay. So if he would have picked a more generic handle, he could have built his own.
Oh, okay.
So that was the sticking point. So my theory, here's my hot take that I promised everybody a minute ago, is roll in, pick the handle you want, buy it, leave with the handle, come back, and buy the saber you want. Because I'm thinking that at that point, no one will say jack squat to you.
But what if it doesn't fit, like you said?
I don't know. You guys can find out and let us know.
Yeah.
Because my theory is, it seems like it'd be real expensive for them to make it so that none of them, it wasn't universal.
Yeah, right?
And here's another thing that makes me think it will work. When Kid Danger got home, when we got back from our trip, the first thing he did is he ran down the block to his neighbor friend to tell him how amazing it was. Well, guess what?
He has one too?
Neighbor friend has one too. And his was not Luke Skywalker's. He had the red one. So I'm assuming Darth Vader.
Yeah.
So he rolls in and shoves it in there. And guess what? It worked. So I think my theory is going to prove strong, and that's the way to go. So it snapped right in, worked perfectly fine. It's pretty cool. It's like the saber itself has like a digital tag on it, and when you shove it in, it goes whook, and kind of like lights in, and you swing that thing around, it's like and then you smack it, it's like so it works pretty similar to like the cheaper ones you buy at like the Walmarts and Targets of the world.
I wonder if that place, like here locally, you know, Saberforge, do they have sound effects too on there?
Yes. So
they do?
Here's here's another little side funny story. My son, because he was so obsessed with the purple lightsaber, unbeknownst to me, he never said anything, went on his text messages and started texting his grandma, because he was well aware of Saberforge. And for those out there that don't know about Saberforge, it's a company in Oregon, Portland, Oregon, and all they do is manufacture lightsabers. That's literally all they do. It's an entire business.
Yeah, it looks dope.
I think check it out. They have a showroom in Portland, but you can buy it online, so you don't have to live in Oregon. You can be anywhere in the world, I think, and buy these. But they're even more expensive than the ones at Galaxy's Edge in Disneyland. And so he got on his text message and started asking Grandma, it was a sob story or something. I couldn't get my purple lightsaber. So I don't think Kid Danger listens to this podcast. He's getting a purple lightsaber for Christmas. You know, he's a little turkey. But yeah, so she when she was telling me is that you can buy the handle, you pick the sound effect, you pick the saber, and it's all fully custom. Everything you do is custom there.
I wonder what handle she picked.
I have no idea. He probably told her. I think he may have picked it all and kind of texted it to her.
This is the picture. Make it.
I think that's kind of what happened. But when I see it on Christmas Day, we'll break it out. Maybe I'll take some pictures. We'll put it on our like Instagram or something.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of excited to see, like, it's going to be neat to see how the third-party Saberforge quality compares to the Galaxy Edge Disney-made version. I'm almost betting the Saberforge one's better, but you don't get the same kind of experience.
Yeah.
So that was kind of my Disney trip in a nutshell. But it was a great time. So I highly recommend anybody who wants to go, at the very least, wait until after February so you can get both Star Wars rides. If you wait further than that, maybe hang in until the Marvel stuff comes, but I think that's still a few years away. But Disneyland's one of those trips where it takes years to save for. It took us almost 4 years to save for this trip.
4 more years?
4 more years. Hopefully in 4 more years we'll have the Marvel Land open. We'll be ready to go. But, you know, you would think Disneyland would make it cheaper, seeing as how they kind of control the world. And speaking of Disney, I think this is the perfect time to jump into our healthy stream. My bladder is full of amazing streaming content that's just ready to spray out into the world. We ended up watching The Mandalorian via iPad in our hotel room because we didn't want to like get behind.
So no big screen this time?
No big screen.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It was still pretty cool. It was kind of nice and intimate, and I had a little headphone splitter, and so Kid Danger and I laid on the bed and watched it.
At least it wasn't like your phone. It was an iPad.
Right. It was an iPad.
Yeah.
What'd you think? What'd you think of this last episode?
Like I said, I love the show. I feel like this episode was a little like not as good as last episode. You know?
Agreed. What number is this one?
Number 4.
4.
Yeah.
Because 3 was probably, at least for me, 3 has been the pinnacle so far.
Yeah. It's kind of like it was kind of slow for me in a way. Like there was a big battle, but the whole episode was kind of a little slow. Like we were watching it, and half the time, all I hear was like, "Oh, it's so cute," because my wife was right next to me.
She's loving some Baby Yoda.
Loving Baby Yoda. She's so cute. They have so many scenes of him just being cute.
Yeah.
And so most of my time watching it was me hearing that the whole time. So it was great.
About how great Baby Yoda was.
Yeah.
I thought it was so. I think I agree with you. I thought that I looked up to see who the director is, because what's interesting about those shows, they've had a different director every time. Even though Jon Favreau's been the producer.
Yeah.
They had Bryce Dallas Howard was the director of this episode.
Oh, Ron Howard's daughter, right?
Yeah, and Ron Howard's an amazing director.
Yeah.
In fact, Bryce Dallas Howard, I don't know what else she's directed, but she's a great actress. I think a lot of people will remember her from the last couple of Jurassic Parks.
Yeah, and also just episode of Black Mirror.
One of the best episodes of Black Mirror. I love that episode. So she's a fantastic actress. But I almost wonder if her directing style almost made the actors fall a little flat. And I don't know if that's just something I was maybe picking on the show a little bit, because I really like The Mandalorian. I even like this episode. But if I'm going to nitpick it, I felt like the acting and kind of the flow of the episode almost felt like a early 2000s like Xena the Princess Warrior Hercules type show.
Right, because they introduced the new girl, right?
Right.
Cara
Dune?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Cara Dune.
She got some massive arms.
Yeah, and she's that like MMA lady, right?
I don't think she did MMA, did she?
She's some sort of mixed
She's not like Ronda Rousey, is she? No.
I think she's like that, but not good like Ronda Rousey.
Because the first time I saw her was in like American Gladiator.
Okay.
The reboot.
I'm pretty sure though she's a mixed martial artist too. So she's a big buff. She's more of an athlete than she is an actor.
Yeah.
And actress. I'm a little concerned of her acting ability. So I kind of hope that they limit her to just being tough and gruff. And I'm cool with that. If she plays that part, I think it'll work good.
Just have her do all the action scenes.
Right. Because I'm not sure that she can deliver a really nuanced. But other than the Cara Dune character, I like the episode. It still feels like they're doing the Western thing. Now they're kind of building a little like almost the Seven Samurai type stuff where they're like saving villages and things like that.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the ATST?
It was freaky.
It was cool, right?
Because like, I don't think we ever seen one with red eyes, right?
And why did it have red eyes?
Do you know?
I don't know.
Well, I was talking to our
Star Wars historian.
Yeah. He said that the red, it makes it so you could still see like inside your little area when it's dark.
Oh, so almost like it's just a red light inside of it that they're using to operate the machine.
Yeah, that way they can still see.
It makes sense. It made it look more menacing. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I always think it's funny that they're always so afraid of it. Everybody's like, oh no, the ATST, the most powerful, dominant weapon of the Empire. And it's like, unless you've got like rocks and rope, sticks, stones, a bunch of little Care Bears.
Yeah.
Then you can absolutely destroy it. No problem.
I think one of my favorite things about the episode was when they show Mando's view into his helmet view.
Oh yeah,
he was like tracking. I think that was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. So kudos to you, Bryce Dallas Howard, for that moment. I like that too. But yeah, overall, I don't think it was a letdown episode. It just had a different tone.
Yeah, it just pushed the story more.
And I was kind of cheating, looking ahead because they've started posting what the episodes are going to be.
Yeah.
And in the next episode or two, I can't remember which one, they were talking about he helps out like another bounty hunter.
Yeah, like a young one, they said.
Yeah, so that's going to be exciting.
So it makes you wonder if like the young bounty hunter is coming for him.
Yeah. And they team up or something?
They team up? Like, I don't know.
You have any theories on what the young bounty hunter might be?
No, I have no idea.
I don't either. I'm hoping that we'll still get some more IG-11s later because I really liked that. That was cool. They're
saying that the last episode it's directed by Walkie Talkie.
Yeah, Takeshi Waititi.
We still can't pronounce his name. Huh?
Yeah, sorry, guy.
So it might bring him back that episode.
I'm so excited because he is a great director.
Yeah.
As opposed to Bryce Dallas Howard, Takeda he makes some of my favorite stuff. I mean, the Thor stuff he did, that Jojo Rabbit movie looks amazing. He's putting out some good stuff.
Yeah.
So that'll be cool. Moving on from Mandalorian, so we won't spend 40 minutes on it like we have in the past. I saw Netflix is doing some pretty cool things. We talked in the past a little bit about Daybreak.
Yeah.
And from a marketing perspective, they're doing something really cool. And I know you've listened a little bit too. They're kind of copying us. The Daybreak people have created their own podcast. And what's genius about it is it's not a podcast. It's not like the Talking Dead.
It's not like me and you talking about Daybreak, right?
Right. It's not a bunch of people like recapping the episode.
Yeah.
Instead, it's expanding the story. And you can find the Daybreak podcast on Spotify, and it's called The Only Podcast Left. And what they've done is they have, I think, 5 or 6 new characters, and they go by like code names. Each one of them's code name is based off of whatever college they were attending at the time of the end of the world.
Yeah, like USC. There's MIT.
Yeah, MIT, USC, Harvard. I think is that the main girl?
I think so.
And so she basically tells a story about the end of the world from her character's perspective. And what's kind of cool is they incorporate things you've seen in the show. So you definitely don't want to listen to the Daybreak podcast until you've seen the show.
Yeah.
But once you've seen the show, it's kind of fun. It does wear a little bit after a while. How many episodes did you listen to?
I think 4 so far.
Okay. I think I listened to like 3.
Well, one of the episodes, if you haven't seen the show, they kind of like the spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
So you need to watch the show first.
And I almost wonder, we often talk about Star Wars canon, if the stuff that they're talking about on this podcast is canon to their show. Because they also introduce some new things that maybe we didn't know that kind of fill in some gaps of what happened on the show.
Well, I think it is canon because there's like one scene where it happened in the show, and then it happened in the show, the podcast too.
Right, because they seem to be like, I don't know if they have cameras or how they know, but they're talking about it as if they're seeing kind of the same things the TV show viewers are seeing.
Yeah.
And they even have, what's the one kid's name? They have him guest star. Did you hear that?
Yeah, the one that goes and gets like gooey stars.
Yeah,
wait, no.
The ninja kid.
Oh yeah, I forget, but the one that's a Ronin.
Yeah, the samurai kid.
Yeah.
They have him guest star, and so it's the same actor comes on and plays the part of that character. And I thought that was super cool.
Because I've never really seen a show expand itself to like another media.
Yeah, this medium is so different. It reminds me of like the old broadcast radio back in the day before we had TV. People would listen to them tell stories. Via radio, and that's kind of what this is, because it's this whole story with character arcs. There's love triangles. I mean, it's extra woke, just like the show is. But yeah, even if it gets old, which it might already be getting kind of old for me. I don't know about you. I think it's a really cool idea. It probably didn't cost them much to do.
Yeah, I appreciate the concept and the idea of it.
Yeah, totally. I totally appreciate it. I thought it was really neat. So kudos to you, Netflix and Daybreak. Daybreak's also a good follow on Twitter. I think it's at Daybreak Writers, and they post some hilarious stuff.
Are they? I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, so I would recommend both the podcast for at least a couple episodes and their Twitter handle.
Well, for the most part, it's really well produced.
It's a great show. I mean, I'm pretty sure that they said they're going to do a second season now. So that's great.
Okay.
It's good for them. The other Netflix news that I had read about that I'm like super hyped about is the return of some of our favorite Marvel characters. They said...
Who?
Daredevil.
Okay. One.
Punisher.
What? No Jessica Jones?
No. So I think that we all kind of know which ones were kind of lame. So the article I read that said Punisher and Daredevil are like 90% sure things.
Do you mean like the characters? Do you mean like the actors with the characters?
So the same actors playing those characters.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So Charlie Cox, I believe, is the actor that plays Daredevil.
Yeah.
And John Barenthal or something plays Punisher.
Yeah.
They said they really want to renew the Punisher show, and it will be probably on Hulu, and because they want their kind of more adult.
Because you said that before.
Disney content on Hulu. So they're talking about bringing the Punisher TV show back as a whole, but also allowing him to maybe appear in some of the movies, because they're pretty good about continuity and tie-ins.
You mean movies and shows, or just movies?
Movies and shows.
Okay.
Because the Netflix stuff before, Disney had purposely kept it separate, but now that it's being incorporated to this more Disney style streaming media, they're talking about incorporating all of it. Just like their upcoming Disney Marvel shows are kind of incorporating, and they're definitely tied into the movies.
Didn't you have a theory about Spider-Man?
Yes, it's not a theory. This is something that they reported.
Oh, okay.
So the report is that they're definitely bringing back Daredevil, probably even more than Punisher, because they're super excited. They love Charlie Cox's Daredevil, which I do too.
Me too. I love the way he acts and the way he plays Daredevil.
So perfect, right?
Yeah.
So they said that we can see Daredevil getting his own movie, but we may see him as soon as Spider-Man 3.
Right, because at the end of Spider-Man 3, spoiler alert, Spider-Man 2, he was outed.
He was outed, right, as Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And so they're saying that Daredevil, as you know, when he's not being all daredevil-y, is a lawyer.
Yeah.
And so they're suggesting that Daredevil could be, and then this is probably more up in the air, rumory type stuff, that he could play Spider-Man or Peter Parker's lawyer.
Yeah. What about Foggy?
Well, I would assume because they're a team, right?
Yeah.
So we would get what is Daredevil's name? I can't remember.
Maddox?
Oh yeah, Matt Murdock.
Murdock.
Yeah. So Matt Murdock and Foggy Nelson. Murdoch and Nelson would represent Peter Parker in maybe some lawsuits, because I'm assuming the theory would be that Peter Parker gets outed and there's going to be a bunch of bad guys that want to get him, but there's probably a lot of people that want to sue him for all the damage of the fights he's been in. There's been, we saw a giant boat rip in half. We saw all sorts. He's trying to help but these guys are getting into all sorts of stuff.
It'd be cool if they bring back you know how in Spider-Man one of his main villains is Kingpin.
Oh man, and that Kingpin was super good.
Yeah, everything about Daredevil show is good.
Yeah, I really like. Yeah, Daredevil was kind of Marvel's crowning achievement on Netflix.
Yeah.
It was really super well done, and I think that you're right. If they could bring back all the characters
With the actors?
with the same actors,
Yeah.
because what is that? Vincent Dot. I can't remember his last name, but he was a great Kingpin.
Yeah.
Like so good because he was so intimidating.
Yeah.
But he was subtle. I think that was one of my more favorite bad guy portrayals I've seen in a while because he didn't come at you like he was gonna kill you, but you still felt like he was gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Which is
You know, good shows have a good villain.
Yeah.
He played a really, really good villain.
yeah, and a real bad guy doesn't need to act intimidating.
Yeah.
You just kind of know.
Yeah.
So I hope that they come back whole self. From what I heard, they're not really interested in bringing back Jessica Jones
Aw, man.
or Luke Cage.
Oh man.
And they said maybe. So they said it is all percentage thing. You're looking at between 2 and 5% of Jessica Jones and Luke Cage maybe somehow coming back with those same actors. On the other hand, Iron Fist's Danny Rand, they said there's pretty much a 0 chance you'll see that again. So no more, I'm Danny Rand.
I'm Danny Rand.
I'm Danny Rand. He's like so whiny all the damn time. I'm like, shut up, man. What's wrong with you?
In case you don't know his name.
Yeah, there was like one episode where I swear to you, he said, I'm Danny Rand like 500 times.
When is it? I'm the chosen one.
It's like, get out of here, Iron Fist. The reason why, though, they said that they're not interested really in bringing back Danny Rand and Iron Fist with that actor doesn't mean the character itself's not coming back.
Okay.
So, word on the street, and this is also still kind of rumor and up in the air, is that they may be reinventing with a new actor the Iron Fist specifically for the upcoming Shang-Chi movie,
Okay.
which would be super awesome because I'm really pumped for that movie.
I am too.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
You know, he's really big in the Asian community, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. I know all my fellow Asian folks.
Yeah, that guy's name
too.
is Simu Liu.
Yeah.
He's also a good follow on Twitter if you could look him up. I watched him. I actually knew him before he got cast as Shang-Chi on a show called Kim's Convenience.
Oh yeah, like your Canadian shows.
In case you didn't know, Ren knows I love me Canadian comedies. Canadians just have it, man. I don't know if it's because they're all so cold that it makes them extra funny, but Canadian shows are always hilarious. And so there's this show, and you can stream it right now on Netflix. So this is another healthy stream right here. Pop on Netflix. Watch Kim's Convenience. It's almost like an old school sitcom.
Yeah.
But it's just well done. It's funny, and so it focuses around a Korean family that owns their own convenience store, and the Simu Liu is the brother. There's an older sister, and they're all trying to do their own things. Of course, their parents are kind of like overprotective and always in their business.
Are they like always showing off his body?
They do on occasion.
Yeah.
Because he has a roommate who's kind of like a pudgy regular dude.
Yeah.
And he like takes off his shirt and he's kind of ripped. That's when I
Yeah.
first saw like this guy should be in like action movies. He'd be in
Yeah.
like good in like a funny action movie. So I'm kind of hoping that Shang-Chi turns out to be a funny action movie.
Well, the thing about Disney movies is they add a little comedy to everything, you know?
Yeah, and I think
everybody
that
needs
helps.
comedy, you know?
Yeah, it makes a big deal if there's some humor to those
Yeah.
types of things. It makes it easier to believe that this guy can like punch through a wall or whatever it might be. I don't even know what his powers are.
I don't even know. It's easy, like just superpower Bruce Lee or something.
I'm pretty sure that's exactly it. He's like a BA Bruce Lee.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so that's kind of some hot Netflix news. I have one last piece of Netflix news that I'm actually super excited at. I know you probably don't know anything about yet because I just found out yesterday. There's this, because I'm a big comic book nerd and I'm into graphic novels. There's this new show that's coming out in February. Actually, it's coming out February 7th, and it's called Lock and Key. Have you ever actually heard of Lock and Key?
I was like browsing around the internet and I saw a picture of like a key going to
Like the back of someone's head?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell is this? Yeah, I didn't click on it, but
Nice. Oh, so
and I saw it like Lock and Key, so that's all I know about it.
Okay, so that's the poster for Lock and Key.
Okay, is it
So-
a horror movie?
Well, this is so awesome. It's based off of a horror comic book.
Okay.
which makes me so already incredibly excited because I love comic books.
Yeah.
Technically, it's a graphic novel because I don't know this has actually been an individual weekly comic book or monthly comic book. It was released, I think, in so many parts as graphic novels. I have so much awesome information about this that I'm just like jittery to tell you about. So Lock and Key is a horror comic book, and the real base level of the idea is it's a family. They're named the Locks. It's like, I don't know, Tyler Locke, Boyd Locke, but Locke is being spelled Locke rather than regular Locke.
Locke.
Right. And at the very beginning of the first issue of the comic, or the graphic novel, the dad gets murdered through a series of really weird, bad stuff, right? And the family's all upset. There's two older son, a younger son, and a middle daughter, and then a mom who was unfortunately raped in the scene where the dad dies. This is a little rough. So this definitely I don't think is gonna be for kids.
Well, that's why it's on Netflix, right?
Right. And so they end up moving to like an old family. It's almost like a mansion of some sort up in like Upper Massachusetts. I can't say that word. So
Massachusetts?
Sure.
Yeah.
And my family's at home laughing right now when they re-listen to this podcast because they always make fun that I can't say that word.
How do you say it? Massachusetts?
I'm not saying it again because everybody laughs every time, and I can't say it right.
Isn't it Massachusetts?
I always want to say massive two shits, but I know that's not right. So,
well, we can't say anything right on this show, anyways.
yeah, I mean it's kind of our calling card at this point that we just mispronounce everything.
Sounds about right. I get it.
Yeah. So, anyways, they move to this giant mansion, and the mansion's called the Keystone Mansion. So that's where you get your clever name of Lock and Key.
Okay.
And what's interesting is the mansion is like severely haunted. It's got all sorts of paranormal stuff going on, which makes it great. And so you got this kind of family that's been through something really tragic and upsetting, moving into this like real paranormal place and all the stuff that kind of happens with it. And that's the real base level of what this graphic novel is about.
So it's basically mom and kids in a haunted mansion.
Right. And I think that maybe they're moving in with maybe their uncle, or there might already be like a part of their family living there that's not direct family, like uncles and cousins.
Yeah.
And so all this crap starts to happen as they move in there.
Is there like a trailer for it yet or no?
No. So unfortunately, even though it's supposedly coming out in February, you would think there would be a trailer. Hopefully that's dropping soon. But here's another fun part about this. So I was doing some research, and this is written by a guy named Joe Hill. And Joe Hill started his career writing a bunch of books. So he wrote a bunch of horror books.
Okay.
He wrote Horns. Did you ever see the movie Horns?
With Harry Potter?
Yep.
Yeah.
And he also wrote...
I actually like that one.
Yeah. So, and I guess the book is way better than the movie turned out. He also wrote a Heart-Shaped Box, which is another horror book. And then he's got a handful of other comics. So then he kind of transitioned from writing horror novels to writing horror comics. And he started off on kind of a smaller label, and now he's part of... I just read it, I'm not sure this is correct, but that DC had kind of shelved Vertigo, which was their kind of grown-up label. And now they have this called Haunted Hill, or some sort of... because it's based off of Joe Hill.
Yeah.
Haunted Hill label of comics, where it's nothing but horror comics and graphic novels.
Okay.
Now, what's really cool about Joe Hill... This is the hot news of the day that everybody gets to learn.
He's from Portland?
No.
Oh, just kidding.
That would be cool. It's his pen name. You want to know what his real name is?
Wait, what's his pen name again?
So a pen name is like a fake name.
Yeah.
Kind of like you call yourself Ren.
Yeah.
And I'm Eric Oldboy.
Yeah.
Those are our Audionots names. Joe Hill is not his real name. It's his pen name. It's his name he's using for writing his books and his graphic novels. But you know why he has a pen name?
Is he someone famous?
Sort of.
Okay.
He's related to probably one of the greatest horror novel authors ever. You want to take a guess? Mr. Prolific himself.
I can't think of his name.
You got it. I can see it. It's floating there.
I keep seeing like
so close.
Steven
Everybody
Spielberg,
at home is yelling.
not.
Oh, you're so close.
What's his name?
Stephen King.
Oh my gosh.
Joe Hill is the son of Stephen King. So his name is actually Joe King.
Wow. Well, his real name is Joe, though.
Yeah, his first name is Joe. He just changed his last name, partially because he's related to Stephen King. If you're going to write, it's like being Michael Jordan's son. You don't want to start playing basketball.
Yeah.
If you're Michael Jordan's
He's
son.
probably like a huge fan of like King of the Hill, you know? I'm like...
Well, what's funny is Joe Hill sounds better than Joe King anyways, because when you say Joe King, he starts to sound like joking.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
That's kind of funny.
Joking Hazard.
Maybe, like, he named his son like that just to...
kind of mess with him. That's the kind of thing Stephen King would totally do.
Yeah.
So Joe King went by the pen name of Joe Hill right away, and I guess he went for a handful of years. He's only been really putting out novels since the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And he went by Joe Hill, hoping that he could gain notoriety on his own. He didn't want to be compared to his dad.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because his dad's probably the greatest horror novelist ever. If he's not the best, he's definitely the most prolific because he puts out a book every other month. And he started to gain some momentum with, those books that we talked about a minute ago. And people quickly found out who he really was. Yeah. So it's not a secret anymore.
Yeah.
But so Stephen King's son, Joe Hill, is writing this Lock and Key graphic novels, and it's finally, they've been trying to make it into movies and TV shows since the mid 2000s. Oh, really? In fact, Fox was the original company to purchase it, and they were going to make a TV show out of it, and they spent $10 million in 2005 to make the first episode.
$10 million?
In 2005. I mean, that's a ton of money. So they thought really highly of this. And for whatever reason, I think almost because of how expensive it was, they ended up like kind of bailing on it, and they didn't make it, and it fell through. So this thing's been in like a nightmare hell of trying to get like produced.
Yeah.
And so I think they finally wore out their contract with Fox, and Netflix picked it up. And so I'm just like super excited. There's just so many things about it that makes me excited. I like the fact that it's horror. I like the fact that it's based on a graphic novel. I like the fact that it has freaking Stephen King sort of attached to it.
Yeah.
And what's really cool is I wanted to do some research because I had never actually read this graphic novel before. And so I went to Netflix or Amazon, and I said, let's go. I want to go buy it. How much can it possibly be? You want to hear the best part? This is the best part of this whole thing.
I give you for free.
It's for free right now.
No way.
So I'm telling everybody listening, pop on Amazon. As long as you have Amazon Prime, which pretty much everybody does, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have Amazon Prime, get your shit together. And
Shame on you.
Yeah, go get Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, you can download on the Kindle app, which I have on my iPad, or if you have a Kindle, of course.
Yeah.
You can download Lock and Key Volume 1 for no charge, completely free.
Oh, just the Volume 1, right?
Right. I actually never even checked. I was so excited. Like I was giddy. I downloaded Volume 1 and I started reading it. So I'm only, about 40 pages into Volume 1, but I really like it. And so once I started reading the graphic novel, I got even more hyped. Because I don't want to give a whole bunch away, but like it's pretty much in the first 15 pages. They've moved into the mansion, and the youngest kid, Boyd, goes running through this one door where he dies and becomes a ghost instantly himself. And he thinks it's kind of fun, the fact that he can run through this door and become a ghost. So when he comes back through the door into the house, he becomes human and comes back to life.
What the heck?
Right? So that got me excited that there's so many concepts on this show that are unique and different to the horror genre. And when I watched a quick interview of Joe Hill talking about it, he was excited. He was comparing it to Stranger Things, which, got my horror pants tight.
So Netflix has Stranger Things, and Netflix gonna get another.
Yeah, maybe they're like,
if it's that good.
I think that they see that there's opportunity. So I could be completely wrong. This thing might come out and be absolute trash, but I just think it has a really good core that we can kind of get behind and get excited for.
It's kind of kids horror. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. I mean, we'll see. I'm interested to see how dark they take it.
I wonder if it's gonna be just strictly ghosts, or is there gonna be other paranormal?
I could maybe next podcast I'll have read more of the novel, and I don't want to ruin it for everybody because it's free. So maybe to go home and you download it yourself. Yeah. We'll get some of the listeners to download it, and we could talk about more about it. But I don't know. I've always been a big fan of them converting graphic novels into television because it's ready to go.
Yeah, it's like the whole storyboard's there for you to do it.
It seems so easy, and it's surprising to me that it's taken this long for the movie and television industry to realize that they have a gold mine.
Yeah, and they just keep saying they're running out of ideas. You're like,
yeah, forget it. You guys don't need to keep making copies of things we've already seen. We don't need Will and Grace Part 2 again. Make something new because there's lots of good stuff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of what I had for Netflix. Last but not least, on Amazon Prime, speaking of, didn't you tell me that the brand new Boys trailer came out today?
Yeah. I saw it and it was like 4 hours ago. It is for reals.
So I didn't see it yet. So tell me, what does it show and why should I be excited?
Well, it kind of like showed Homelander all like bloody.
Really?
Yeah.
Like he's been fighting somebody?
Yeah, his face is all blood out, and then they just kind of cut to a bunch of like compilation scenes of like the whole show of them fighting and like doing stuff, a lot of blood.
Are they trying to like make it feel almost like there's more happening than the first season?
It's kind of like, hey, guess what? We're back, and this is what you're, this is what you're gonna be looking forward to. Like, a bunch of cuts, and all the characters you love are back, and so
I'm so excited. That show is ridiculously good.
Yeah.
So good. That's another one that was based on a graphic novel.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many good shows that they can make. Just one right after another.
I feel like they're like going on the darker side now and things. Of, like,
well, I think we talked about either last episode or the time before is how they've realized that a lot of the fans have aged into this.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of following, the content's following us.
Yeah.
Which is so exciting. I mean, it's just amazing. But that's kind of all I had for the healthy stream. So I wanted to kind of maybe take a minute before we jump into the Jacuzzi to do a quick commercial break. Okay, we're back. Thanks for listening to that amazing commercial that earned us 30 cents. We appreciate it. If you ever want to spend some more money with us or work with us, we are vigilantedesign.com. Jump on there and we're happy to help you do whatever you need for your graphic design needs. Make your brand really pop. So don't ever forget that's kind of the real reason. This is fun. All you're basically getting to hear is the kind of stuff we randomly talk about while we work.
Yeah, all day
long.
Yeah.
So we thought, why not talk into a microphone once in a while too? Can't hurt. So coming up now on the News Jacuzzi. We're going to be dipping our toes in some of that hot water and talking about some new things. And it's going to sound like I'm staying with the same category as last time because my first topic is right in the vein of all the things we've already talked about. Comic books.
Okay.
People are like, this is just a comic book podcast.
We're like a bunch of nerds here. So
I am the nerdiest guy. And I try to pull the information that's out there. And this is some new information. So I'll take 2 steps back. Do you like Channing Tatum?
Depends what he does.
Right?
Right?
What's your favorite Channing Tatum moment?
21 Jump Street.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that Channing Tatum you like or Jonah Hill?
Well, it's the way he plays his character. So he's not like overacting. He's just playing him,
He's kind of almost like Ashton Kutcher, where he's good at playing dumb. He's probably not dumb in real life.
Yeah.
That's where he's kind of at his best.
Yeah.
So do you remember when Channing Tatum, for the longest time, wanted to make Gambit?
Yeah.
Well, that fell through. Apparently, Gambit may never happen. At least it won't happen with Channing Tatum. But Channing Tatum hasn't shook his want to make a comic book movie.
Okay.
So he's moved on to a lesser-known comic, but one I know really well because I'm a comic book nerd, and it's called The Max. Have you ever heard of The Max? It's spelled with 2 X's, not 3 like the porn.
No. Is it like super old or what?
It's fairly old. It's probably, the comic itself probably came out in the 90s. It was one of those comics that came out of the Image imprint.
Okay.
Image was where all the comic guys quit Marvel and started their own thing.
Yeah.
The Max was created, and it was kind of a darker, weird, mysterious comic, and it focused around this big creature that lived in this kind of realm called the Outback. But the creature itself was somehow connected to a real human being in this world. And the human being in this world was a homeless guy that had all sorts of problems, but he was the same mental in both this world and in the Outback. So he was the Max in the Outback, and he was the homeless guy in this world. And so when he would try to tell people about what was happening in the Outback with all the strangeness, they wouldn't buy into it, and they thought it was really weird. And it had all sorts of different unique twists like that. But the Max itself, because it was, I think, kind of a really clever, interesting story. You may remember this or may not remember it. They made a TV show out of it in the early 2000s on MTV.
I don't know.
Yeah, they made it was a cartoon. It was a MTV cartoon back when they were doing the Beavis and Butthead stuff.
Yeah.
So they brought out the Max, and they did a whole, I think it maybe lasted 2 seasons. And And it was just super unique. And like I said, it's hard. Anybody out there should look up the Max 2X's Image Comics to see kind of what it looks like. Or you can type in the Max 2X's MTV to see what it looks like. And he's kind of this big, hulking, bent over thing. And the comic itself dealt a lot with like people's state of mind and the mentality of people and depression and those kind of things. But they made it interesting. It wasn't...
What is this guy?
Yeah, Ren's looking at the pictures right now.
Oh wait, this is XXX. My bad.
Yeah, not Pornhub. So the Max was kind of unique. So what's interesting though is that Channing Tatum has signed on to produce this. I don't know if he'll put himself as an actor because I know when he wanted to do Gambit, he wanted to be Gambit.
Yeah,
which I think would have been terrible. I would not have liked it.
I really wanted to see him in his like Cajun accent.
It would have been horrible, guaranteed. But I think that he could actually probably play the homeless guy that is the Max, the man version of the Max. So I'm kind of interested in that. That was the kind of comic booky news I had for that.
Yeah, I've never seen this before.
Okay, well, I don't know if there's a trailer yet because I think it's kind of still in the early pre-production times. But I would recommend that everybody check out maybe. You probably pop on like YouTube and watch. I think they were only like 15 minutes. Go watch like an episode of the Max on MTV and see if it's for you or if it's too weird.
Yeah.
But kind of talking about these comic booky type movies. You know Mark Ruffalo?
The Hulk himself?
The Hulk himself?
Yeah.
He was being interviewed recently and they asked him, and they said, Mark, do you want to keep doing the Hulk? And he's like, heck yeah, I do. He goes, I love it. Have you ever seen him in like the where they bring him out like Comic Cons and stuff like that?
Yeah, he's so awkward. He's funny.
He's just excited about the other actors as like the fans are.
Yeah.
He's stoked that he gets to take his picture with Captain America, Robert Downey Jr. It's incredible. And so they say
he like fanboys over them too.
He's like a fanboy and he's the Hulk, which makes it extra cool. And I love that about him. I think that helps make him an even better character.
Yeah.
But he said that he's been pushing, and he's not only is he just telling the media, but he's been talking to Kevin Feige himself, the guy that runs all the Marvel Entertainment.
And now Star Wars.
Yeah, the CMU. He asked him, now that they own X-Men, if they could do one of my favorite comics, Hulk versus Wolverine.
Oh my gosh.
Hulk versus Wolverine had its own comic line for a while. I don't know how many issues it was, but it was amazing. In fact, they even had a time where Hulk and Wolverine became homies and they would work on like adventures together. In fact, I have one where Hulk was gray, and I don't really remember why Hulk was gray, but he's in like I remember very vividly the cover of the comic has Wolverine and Hulk both in white tuxedos. And Wolverine's got a cigar, and Hulk's gray, and they're both standing there looking dapper as all get out, and they're on their way to whatever adventure, almost like James Bondian adventure. But how much would you love to see Hulk versus Wolverine?
Because I've seen the animation of it, the cartoon, and it was pretty cool.
Wait, there was a cartoon on this too?
Yeah.
Was it called Hulk versus Wolverine?
I think so.
Oh my god, I didn't even know. See, like as much as I know about comics, I never saw any of the cartoons.
Yeah, they do a lot of like Marvel cartoon movies.
You think is that on Disney Plus?
Maybe.
Oh, dude, as soon as we're done, I'm checking.
I just wanted to see like Wolverine slashing through Hulk's skin, see if it actually goes through or not.
Well, the best part about it is Mark Ruffalo said he wants to see if that will be what brings back. What is Wolverine's name again? The actor. Also, I went brain dead.
You just press gave me too.
The handsome Australian
Logan. What's his name?
Logan. I don't remember. Also, I can't think of his name. This is so embarrassing. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, they want to bring back the same actor that played Wolverine, Logan, in all the movies. So it might have to be some sort of prequel if it's the same guy, because you don't want, because he died. Spoiler alert.
Well, Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Oh my God. For the win. That was pretty hilarious. I totally press gave you.
Yeah. Well, like in like the comic book world, I learned that. You know how he dies in Logan, right?
Yes.
But that's at the movie Logan. He dies, but in the comic book, he dies because he covered himself with his own metal.
Yeah.
But then later on, they got Kitty Pryde.
Okay.
The Shadow Lady.
Yeah.
That Sheila was able to push him out of the metal.
Wait, so they revive him?
Yeah, so they revived him somehow.
Oh my god,
So-
that's hot news right there. So it's completely possible if they want to bring him back and not do any kind of prequel stuff, they can just bring him back to life.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So here's hoping that Hulk versus Wolverine is a thing.
Well, the thing is, Logan was in the future, right?
Yeah,
Where he's
because they had
old-
those weird moving trucks.
Yeah, it was Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
So if they can start bringing him back now to play like
a younger version.
Yeah.
because he was definitely playing an older version of himself.
Yeah.
Man, I hope that's true. I would really like that. Hulk versus Wolverine.
them screaming the whole time, fighting each other.
Can you imagine? Just like it just gives me a giddy thinking about it. I love it. So I was also reading about another exciting movie, Ghostbusters Part 3. And now we're not talking about the weird Melissa McCarthy all ladies Ghostbusters, which was fine,
I
whatever.
like that one.
It didn't hurt my feelings, but it wasn't what I grew up on. It wasn't the original Ghostbusters. So supposedly they're bringing back the original Ghostbusters with all the original cast. Dan Aykroyd. So not only are they bringing back Ghostbusters, but they're bringing back all the original cast. What's cool about it is I think it's already been mostly filmed too. So this isn't like a concept or an idea. And it's starring a bunch of new actors, including Paul Rudd and Finn Wolfhard. You know who Finn Wolfhard is.
Finn.
He's the kid from Stranger Things. And
Oh yeah.
is he also in It?
Mike. Yeah, he's in It too.
That kid's awesome.
Yeah.
And plus he has the dopest name ever. I mean, what kind of name is Finn Wolfhard?
Dude likes to play like a lot of horror stuff.
Yeah, but this is going to be fun. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It's in the horror genre,
Yeah,
but so barely. It's dipping its toes in. But yeah, so Finn Wolfhard, Carrie Coon, Paul Rudd, Celeste O'Connor, Logan Kim, along with Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray, Sigourney Weaver, and Ernie Hudson. So all the original peeps are back in it too.
Are they trying to like segue into like a new like?
Well, they've talked about having almost like Ghostbuster universes.
Yeah.
Where there could be like the original Ghostbusters exist and the new Ghostbusters exist, and where they could almost have different teams.
So like Melissa McCarthy like team are
They're their own thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, that's cool. I'm excited for these guys to come, be back. And the name of the movie's been released. They're actually going to call it Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Whoa.
And I don't know. I'm looking here if it says anything about what it's going to be about. They said that director Jason Reitman wrote the film with Monster House director Gil Kinnan, and it focuses on a family who moves back into their home in a small town. While there, they begin to learn more about who they are and what secrets the town has. So I'm guessing that maybe Finn Wolfhard's the kid that moves into the house.
Yeah.
And they realize that their house is all sorts of haunted, maybe like Lock and Key.
Man, this is like a horror episode or something.
Right, and then they call them the Ghostbusters. But probably, my guess is these guys are retired. Can you imagine, like, if they have Bill Murray being all like maybe a drunk or something?
Yeah.
He's been married to Sigourney Weaver at this point, and they had to like come out of retirement to try to help this kid.
Not again.
Dude, I think this is gonna be a good one. I mean, I think the last Ghostbusters, like you said, you didn't like it. I thought it was pretty meh.
Yeah.
This could be the Ghostbusters we deserve.
Because it's not like a reboot, it's just a continuation of it, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is the third part. It's movie number 3, so it's not a redo, a reboot, a new people or anything.
Yeah.
So that's super exciting.
Movie love trilogies to finish it off.
For sure. And it would be the perfect ending because these guys are all getting older. I think that the guy that played the tall, skinny guy, Ivan Reitman.
Did he pass?
He's dead, yeah. So I'm assuming they'll probably work that into the plot because they're all older now. It wouldn't be unusual if the character itself had passed at some point.
It'd be funny if like they make him into a ghost in the movie.
I don't know. Would that be funny or would it be kind of like...
Never mind. Yeah.
Would it come off as poor taste?
And then make him like a CG ghost.
Or they can just bring him back James Dean style.
Oh yeah, as a ghost.
Yeah.
The afterlife.
You really want him to be a ghost.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see.
The title.
I'm pretty excited for that trailer. Speaking of trailers, did you see the new Black Widow trailer?
I did.
What do you think?
I feel like we don't really need this movie, but it is what it is. And I'll watch it. It looks pretty good.
Well, it's almost like I think that Scarlett Johansson's done a great job playing the Black Widow.
Yeah.
And she deserved a movie a long time ago. And I don't know whatever reason why it took so long for them to make it. It's almost like you've kind of earned it. We kind of screwed you. You should have had this before.
Yeah.
So, but I was excited to see that it has what's his face from Stranger Things, Hopper, David Harbour, as the Red
Guardian.
And it looks pretty funny. His character is trying to fit into like his outfit. At least they didn't try to make him look all buff like they did in that stupid Hellboy movie.
Yeah, I feel like we never got an origin story of Black Widow.
Right.
So they kind of took an origin story and make it into a storyline. So you learn about her past,
right,
while doing like her own origin story.
Yeah, and they're saying this happens, I guess, like right before Infinity War.
Yeah, I think after Civil War happens, then this happens.
And I've heard some fan theories, because, you know, that's what fans do best, that what if, and you can tell me if this is just ridiculous, because I don't know, what if in this movie we learn that somehow ScarJo herself swaps places with Yelena, her sister, and Yelena's pretending to be the Black Widow, and she's the one that dies in Endgame.
So it gives you a
reason to bring back ScarJo.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that's so absurd.
But how would they like swap places when they're like...
How the hell would I know? I'm not a Marvel... I don't know.
Doctor Strange magic?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe it is some sort of magic.
Yeah.
But the real question is, why would Yelena like sacrifice herself? Unless we learn there's something that's happening, because they're sisters, right? And for whatever reason, only one of them speaks Russian, and the other one's like has a perfectly good American accent. I'm always
like, it's so funny how every time they do like Russian accents in Hollywood, it's so over the top that it feels fake. Like, do really Russians talk like that?
I think they do. I think that, because I thought so too. That was always my exact same feeling. Is you hear these Russians, you're like, come on, why do they sound so stupid? But I've spoke with a few Russians over time and in our careers, and some of them really sound like that. It's hilarious.
Okay.
So I think that the Russian accent just in general sounds fake. So Russians, clean it up, you know. We're not buying it. Quit hacking our elections and learn how to talk right. So that's my 2 cents on that. But I'm excited for it. I don't know that it gets me geeked out as much as other Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Only because Black Widow always seemed kind of more of a side character.
Yeah. It's something she deserves to have her own, but it's kind of like too late in the game to where you're like, oh snap, I need to go watch it opening day, you know?
Right. But maybe it'll be dope and introduce us to a bunch of other characters, because I guess the bad guy is called Taskmaster. And I saw, so internet was doing what internet does, and they were bitching about the fact that, because you can see the Taskmaster for like a quick second in the trailer.
What? He was there?
Yeah. He's got like almost like a, he almost looks like he's ready to go paintballing. He's got like a black mask on, and he's shooting like an arrow.
I thought that was like the one dude from Captain America.
It kind of looks the same, huh?
Yeah.
No, supposedly that's the main villain.
Oh, okay.
His name is Taskmaster, and I guess in the comic version of Taskmaster, he looks more like what's the guy's name from Skeletor from He-Man.
Oh yeah.
He looks more like that. He has like a skeleton face. So I guess it's just a skeleton mask.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, why didn't they put this guy in a skeleton mask? And he wears like a hood. And they're like, well, how come? Because Marvel's been pretty good at making characters look like they're supposed to.
It's a trailer.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. How do we know that he doesn't adapt as the movie progresses?
Yeah.
So
you can't give it all away.
Yeah. No, it'd be terrible. It wouldn't be a good movie then. Yeah. So, but I mean, in the very least, maybe we'll get a new cool villain. Maybe we'll get some new side characters that can come back later. I mean, I want to see, what did you call him? What was his name?
Red Guardian?
Yeah, the Red Guardian could come back and do some more stuff.
Dude, he's like a Russian Captain America.
He's a big dude.
Yeah, Captain Russian.
Yeah, maybe they'll get David Harbour on like the Chris Pratt workout plan, and he can come back in the next movie all ripped or something. So that'd be pretty cool. And then last but not least, I wanted to touch on something that wasn't comic book related, because that's all we've talked about for an hour and 15 minutes so far. I wanted to talk about sports, which is, I know not everybody's into sports, but probably not everybody's into comic books either, and we've talked about that forever. LeBron James, I have some hot takes on LeBron James, and I apologize right now to all the Laker fans, to all the LeBron James fans, but I think LeBron James has jumped the shark.
What do you mean?
Well, I was watching him because he's always on, because they're the freaking Lakers, so they're on every national game lately, and in the last game that I watched him, and he's been getting, in my opinion, progressively worse as a human being since he's joined the Lakers. Every game has made him turn more stupid and foolish and acting out, and he is just so ridiculous. And this is my hot take, and I know a lot of people love LeBron James, so you can hate me for it, but in my opinion, LeBron James sucks, and I'll tell you why. In this last game, the referees love LeBron James so much, the NBA loves LeBron James so much that they let him do anything. He was rolling past half court, dribbling the ball, stops, holds the ball, walks 3 more steps, and then starts dribbling the ball again. The defender's like, what the hell, man? This guy's like...
Travel.
Yeah, travel. What's going on here? And nobody calls anything. And it's like, okay, that's bogus. Maybe that's not LeBron's fault. Maybe that's the referee's fault. It is the referee's fault, right? But then, in that same game, against the poor Phoenix Suns, which are, they already suck enough. They don't need no scrimmage.
They'll be good one day.
They will be good. They have a lot of young talent.
Yeah.
LeBron James starts acting a fool on the sideline. They're killing the Suns at this point, right?
Oh, I think I've seen this clip. Yeah.
So they're destroying the Suns.
Yeah.
And he's on the sidelines. He's already taking off his shoes and giving it to a fan because he's LeBron James. His hair is flapping in the wind because he's a real POS now.
He has no hair.
God, LeBron James went from a fan favorite for me to worse than Kobe Bryant. He's just pissing me off. And so LeBron James, one of his guys does something on his end, he scores or dunks or something.
Yeah, it was the math teacher.
Wait, there's a math teacher on their team?
Yeah, Alex Caruso.
Oh, he looks like a math teacher? Yeah. What did he do? I don't even remember.
I think he got a pass and dunked it.
Okay, so the math teacher received a pass and dunked it. Great, good for him. LeBron James, shoeless LeBron James, because he's giving him away, starts jumping up and down, waving a towel over his head like he's at some sort of rap concert. And he bunny hops his ass onto the floor. He's got to be 3 or 4 feet onto the active floor where they're still playing. There hasn't been a timeout called. The game hasn't stopped, and nobody says anything.
Don't you get suspended for that?
Yes. If you run onto the court during a fight and you're not in the game, you miss a game.
Yeah, CJ got suspended for doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I just don't understand how it is LeBron James. They're allowing him to do anything he wants, and it's making him douchier and douchier because he's starting to realize
that he can.
And so my hot take to end this podcast is LeBron James sucks big fat hairy Shaq balls. It's terrible. It's terrible. I mean, I feel that way from the deepest crevices of my heart.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it is what it is. So I don't know. Do you hate LeBron James the way I do, or are you still okay with him?
Well, I never liked the dude. I just appreciate his skill set.
Yeah, well, and I did too.
Yeah.
And I used to actually like him as a person too, because it seemed like he did a lot of charities. But as his career's progressed, and he's clearly the best player in forever, he's taken so much advantage of us, right? He screwed over the poor people in Cleveland with his whole listen to me choose who I'm going to pick during an hour-long ESPN special.
Yeah, I'm going to take my talents.
Yeah, and it just keeps getting fuller and fuller of himself. So to that I say, LeBron James, you suck.
Well, he is the chosen one.
Yeah, he thinks so. And the fact that he calls himself that's part of the problem.
He has a tattoo on his back.
Yeah, so with that, I think that's a perfect time to wrap it up on my huge LeBron hate and call it an episode. But we hope you guys tune in. We're going to do our end of the year kind of Christmas episode next. And then we're going to take a couple weeks off to enjoy the holidays. And we'll be back with everybody. But yeah, make sure to tune in. Tell your friends, your family, everybody you know about how great we are. I promise that I won't talk so much about comic books.
Lies.
It's probably a lie. I really do like comic books. But we'll try to be even some more funny news. There just wasn't a lot happening this week. But with that, I say goodbye. Everybody have a great whatever it is you're doing at this time. Whether you're working on your management style in the bathroom or driving your car, we appreciate you and hope you continue to tune in. And when you shove it in, it goes and kind of lights in. And you swing that thing around and then you smack it, it's like